Imagine for a moment that everything around you is nothing more than a fleeting shadow passing by. The noise, the pressure, the obstacles, they are not who you are. You are the unshakable presence that stands in the middle of it all. Life will try to rattle you, to break your spirit, to knock you down. But there's a part of you deep within that cannot be touched. It remains untouched by time, unbothered by circumstances, and free of fear. This is the power that lies within you, the part of you that stands as the unmovable observer of life's storms. Look at the trees for a moment. When the wind blows, they bend, they sway, they dance with the force of nature. Yet they remain rooted. No matter how strong the wind, no matter how intense the storm, they stand their ground. They don't fear the storm, they don't try to control it, they simply allow it to pass through, knowing that their roots run deep and that nothing can truly uproot them. The same is true for you. Life may shake you, it may challenge you, but if you remain rooted in the essence of who you are, nothing can ever truly break you. Think of Nelson Mandela, who, after spending 27 years imprisoned, never allowed the hatred or suffering around him to destroy his sense of purpose. He walked out of that prison not as a broken man, but as someone who had found a strength so deep it couldn't be shaken by time or the cruelty of others. It was a quiet strength, a knowing that even in the face of immense suffering, his inner being could not be touched. It was this unshakable strength that enabled him to bring about change, to forgive, and to lead his country with compassion. Or consider the story of Oprah Winfrey, a woman who, despite experiencing profound trauma, rejection, and failure, rose above it all. Her pain became her power, her strength came from embracing her story, not as something that defined her, but as something she transcended. She did not allow the weight of her past to determine her future. Instead, she realized that the very essence of her being was invincible, untouched by anything that had happened to her. And what about you? Can you feel it too? That deep, unshakable part of you? It is always there, waiting for you to acknowledge it, to align with it. In every moment of difficulty, in every setback, there is an opportunity to rediscover that inner strength. It is always within you, not in the material, not in the external, but in the quiet space of your own being. In every moment you face fear, doubt, or uncertainty, remember that they are nothing more than passing clouds. Your true self is the sky, vast, open, and timeless. The clouds may momentarily obscure the sun, but the sun is always there, just waiting to shine through. In the same way, your true essence remains unscathed, no matter how dark the storm may seem. So, let the world throw its challenges at you. Let the winds howl, let the rain pour. You are not the wind, you are not the rain. You are the sky that holds it all. And nothing in this world can ever shake the sky. There is a deep well of strength within you that remains untouched by the circumstances of your life. This strength does not come from your achievements, your social standing, or even the number of battles you've won. It is something far deeper, something that exists beyond the layers of your identity, beyond the roles you play, beyond the labels society places on you. It is the core of your being, the part of you that remains unchanged despite the ebb and flow of life. When the world presses down on you, when challenges mount, when fear and doubt start to creep in, this is the part of you that stands firm and unyielding. This inner strength is not something you need to search for or manufacture. It is already there, woven into the very fabric of who you are. Think of the moments in your life when everything seemed to fall apart. Perhaps it was a loss, a failure, a rejection, or a time when everything you thought you knew about yourself was shattered. In those moments, it can feel like the world is crumbling, that you're powerless, that the pieces of your life are slipping through your fingers. But here's the truth. Even when everything around you falls apart, you are still there. You are still standing. There's a part of you that no external event can touch. No matter how difficult it seems in the moment, that part of you is the unshakable essence that exists beneath the surface of your thoughts and emotions. This inner strength is not about controlling life or forcing circumstances to bend to your will. It's about allowing life to unfold as it is, while remaining anchored in the certainty of your own being. It's a quiet strength, not loud or boastful, but steady and resilient. It's a strength that allows you to face hardship with a sense of calm, to endure suffering without losing yourself to it, to rise again after every fall. This strength is not the result of your willpower, but of your connection to something far greater than your individual self. The challenges you face in life are not meant to break you, they are meant to reveal this hidden strength. Every time you overcome adversity, you uncover a deeper layer of your own resilience. When life knocks you down, you don't have to fight or struggle to get back up. You simply need to remember that you are already whole, already complete. The act of standing up again is not about exerting effort, but about recognizing that nothing can ever truly diminish the power of who you are at your core. Even in your darkest moments when you feel lost or uncertain, you are still that unshakable presence. Nelson Mandela, after spending 27 years in prison, emerged not as a broken man, but as a symbol of unwavering strength and resolve. He had been physically confined, isolated, and oppressed, but the part of him that could never be contained, the part that transcended his circumstances, remained free. It was this inner strength that allowed him to forgive his captors, to lead with compassion, and to inspire millions. His story is not an isolated one. Countless others throughout history have faced unimaginable hardship, yet emerged stronger because they understood the power of the inner self, the unshakable essence that no one can take away. You have that same power within you. It may not always be obvious, and it may not always feel accessible, but it is always there, waiting for you to remember it. No matter what you face in life, no matter how the world may try to shake you, remember that you are unshakable. You are the strength that stands behind every challenge, the calm that remains when everything around you is in chaos. Your inner power cannot be measured by external success or failure. It is a constant, a deep well that will never run dry as long as you choose to tap into it. There is a subtle yet powerful force within you that allows you to endure life's greatest challenges. the presence of mind, the ability to stay grounded, no matter how turbulent the circumstances around you may become. It is not the force of will, nor is it the sheer determination to fight against what is happening. Instead, it is the ability to be present, to stay anchored in the here and now, despite the storms that may rage outside and within. This strength is rooted in the simple yet profound act of being present, of recognizing that you have the ability to stand firm regardless of what is happening around you. Imagine a tree standing in the middle of a fierce storm. The wind howls, the rain lashes against its branches, and the sky darkens with ominous clouds. The tree doesn't resist the wind, nor does it try to outrun the storm. It simply bends and sways, allowing the forces of nature to pass through. The storm may uproot smaller plants or cause damage in its wake, but the tree remains rooted, unbroken. In the same way, you too are capable of standing firm amidst life's storms. Like the tree, you are rooted in something far deeper than the external chaos. When you are able to remain anchored in the present moment, you create a space of stillness within you that allows you to bend and adapt without being destroyed. Life's challenges often arise when we get caught up in the past or the future. We hold on to regrets, fears, or anxieties that keep us from fully engaging with the present moment. We become so attached to outcomes that we lose sight of the fact that we are always in the process of becoming, always evolving in real time. When we hold on tightly to past events, reliving them over and over, or project our worries onto an unknown future, we become unmoored. The present moment, however, is the one space where we can truly find strength. It is in the now, where everything exists, not in the story you tell yourself about what has been or what might be, but in the reality of what is. When you are present, you can feel your own grounding, much like the tree feels its roots beneath the earth. You are not at the mercy of circumstances because you are not trying to control them. Instead, you are responding from a place of awareness, from a place of calm acceptance. This does not mean you abandon your goals or dreams, nor does it mean you become passive or indifferent to the challenges you face. It means you become fully engaged with the moment, responding not from fear or reaction, but from clarity and understanding. When you face a difficult situation, your response comes from the inner peace of knowing that the only moment that truly exists is the one you are in. This ability to remain rooted in the present is not something that comes easily for everyone. It requires practice and a willingness to let go of the need to control or escape from what is happening. It takes courage to be fully present, especially in times of hardship. But it is in these very moments that you begin to discover your own inner strength. As you learn to surrender to the flow of life, to accept each moment as it comes without resistance, you find that you are no longer at the mercy of the external world. You find that you are the calm in the storm, the eye of the hurricane, unshaken by what's swirling around you. The key to finding this rootedness is understanding that you are not the things that happen to you, nor are you the thoughts and emotions that arise in response to them. You are the awareness that witnesses it all. When you remember this, you can navigate the storms of life with a quiet power, knowing that your true strength lies not in the ability to control or change everything, but in the ability to remain grounded in the ever-present now. Your past is not your prison. The memories, the mistakes, the regrets, all of these are part of the story of your life, but they do not define you. Too often we become entangled in the narrative, what has happened to us. We carry the weight of our past experiences as if they are a burden we must bear forever. We define ourselves by our failures, by the things we wish we could undo, or the paths we regret not taking. But the truth is, your past is not a fixed prison from which there is no escape. It is a chapter in a much larger story, a story that is still unfolding, a story that is still yours to write. Many people find it difficult to move beyond their past because they believe that what happened to them somehow determines their worth or their future. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that because you've made mistakes, because you've been hurt, because you've failed, you are somehow lesser. The truth, however, is that the power you have is not in what has happened to you, but in how you choose to respond to it. Every moment, every experience is an opportunity for growth, for transformation, and for release. The past cannot continue to hold you unless you continue to hold on to it. When you live in the past, you are living in a state of limitation. You are bound by the memories of what once was, and those memories shape your reality. But when you begin to release the hold the past has on you, you free yourself to step into the present moment and fully embrace the life that is waiting for you now. The key to freedom is not in erasing the past or denying that it happened, but in letting go of the power it has over your present and future. Think of someone like Oprah Winfrey. Her early years were filled with abuse, neglect, and hardship. She could have easily allowed these experiences to define her, to limit her possibilities, to become the story she told herself every day. But instead she transformed her pain into purpose. She acknowledged her past, but did not allow it to dictate her future. She understood that her history did not define her worth, and that the power to shape her life was in the choices she made in the present. Oprah is a testament to the fact that no matter where you come from, no matter what you've endured, you have the ability to rewrite your story, to find strength in your scars, and to rise above the pain. This is not to say that healing from past wounds is easy or instantaneous. It is a journey that requires courage, vulnerability, and patience. But the moment you realize that your past does not determine your destiny, a weight begins to lift. You stop looking behind you and start looking ahead. You begin to recognize that every experience, every hardship, and every failure carries within it a lesson, a seed for growth. By letting go of the past's grip, you allow yourself to become the person you were always meant to be. You realize that the challenges you faced were not obstacles to your success, but stepping stones on the path to your transformation. They shaped you, yes, but they do not define you. You are more than the sum of your past. You are the person you choose to become each and every day. And with that realization, you free yourself to move forward into a future that is not limited by what you once were, but expansive with the possibilities of who you are becoming. Life is not always smooth. In fact, it often throws unexpected challenges, obstacles, and trials in your path. In these moments, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to think that you are at the mercy of circumstances, and to allow yourself to be defined by what happens to you. The truth, however, is that you are not the victim of your life, but the observer of it. How you respond to life's challenges defines your experience far more than what happens to you. Life is constantly changing, but the one thing that remains constant is your ability to choose how to respond to it. This might seem counterintuitive at first, because the natural instinct when faced with hardship is to react, to fight against what is happening, or to allow yourself to become consumed by emotion. But in every moment of difficulty, there is also a choice. You can react from a place of fear, anger, or frustration, or you can choose to observe the situation with a clear and calm mind, free from the noise of emotional reaction. This doesn't mean you become numb or indifferent to the challenges you face. It simply means you stop letting them control you. The power of the observer lies in the ability to step back from the immediate reaction, to create a space between stimulus and response. In that space, you gain perspective, clarity, and insight. You are no longer at the mercy of your emotions or the external events that trigger them. Instead, you become the one who holds the power to choose how to respond. This practice of observing rather than reacting is where true strength lies. The key to this is not about suppressing emotions or pretending to be unaffected by life's difficulties. It's about recognizing that you are not defined by those emotions. You are not the anger, the frustration, or the fear you feel in response to a situation. You are the awareness that experiences those emotions, but you are not bound to them. When you are able to step back and observe, you allow the emotions to come and go without attaching yourself to them. This doesn't mean you ignore your feelings or suppress them. It means you become aware of them without being consumed by them. Think of a river flowing. The water may carry all sorts of debris, branches, leaves, dirt, but the river remains clear, its flow uninterrupted by what it carries. The debris may temporarily block the flow, but eventually it passes. Similarly, your emotions are like the debris floating in the river. They come and go, but they do not have to define the course of your life. You are the river, and the emotions are simply temporary visitors. When you can observe without becoming attached, you can navigate life with a sense of peace and clarity, even in the midst of the most difficult circumstances. This shift in perspective doesn't mean that you deny the realities of life or minimize the challenges you face. It means that you stop allowing those challenges to control your sense of peace and your sense of self. The power to choose your response is always in your hands, and that is where your true freedom lies. By choosing to observe rather than react, you step into a space where you can think clearly, act deliberately, and remain centered, no matter what life presents. This simple shift can transform how you experience life, turning even the most difficult moments into opportunities for growth, understanding, and inner peace. In the ever-changing world we live in, it often feels as if chaos surrounds us. There are external pressures from work, relationships, and the constant bombardment of information. It seems as if the world outside is constantly moving, evolving, and sometimes even unraveling. In these moments, it's easy to get swept away by the turbulence of life, to feel as though you too are being pulled into the whirlwind. Yet, there is a deeper truth that can serve as your anchor, your inner peace. No matter how chaotic the world becomes, your ability to cultivate and return to inner peace is the key to navigating the external chaos without losing yourself in it. The world will always change, circumstances will shift, people will come and go, and challenges will arise unexpectedly. But the key to not being overwhelmed by these external forces is to remain grounded in a sense of peace that exists within you, regardless of what's happening around you. This peace is not a passive state. It is an active choice you make every day to center yourself amidst the noise and the distractions. It is not something that is dependent on how well things are going in your life, but rather a choice to return to yourself, to find stillness within, even when everything outside seems uncertain. Imagine the vast ocean. Its surface can be turbulent, with waves crashing and storms brewing, but beneath that surface there is a deep, still calm. The ocean's depths remain unchanged by the tempests that rage above. In the same way, you can choose to cultivate that stillness within you. Your mind and emotions may be tossed by external events, but your inner self, the calm at your core, remains untouched. It's a subtle, quiet strength that doesn't seek to control the world around you, but instead anchors you to a place of clarity, peace, and resilience. This inner peace is not about denial or avoidance of life's difficulties. It's about developing a mindset where the external chaos does not penetrate your internal sense of calm. When you understand that peace comes from within, you stop looking for it outside yourself. It no longer matters what happens in the world, because you know that your peace is independent of external circumstance. This doesn't mean you become detached or indifferent to the world around you. It means that you no longer allow the world to dictate your emotional state. Take a moment to reflect on the times in your life when external chaos felt overwhelming. Perhaps there was a period when things weren't going well at work, or when relationships were strained, or when the weight of the world seemed too much to carry. In those moments, did you allow yourself to be swept into the storm, or did you manage to find your own center? The ability to hold on to your inner peace even when the external world is in disarray is the mark of someone who has learned to cultivate strength from within. In moments of crisis or challenge, your peace doesn't diminish, it becomes your guiding light. It helps you to respond with clarity rather than react impulsively. It allows you to face adversity with a calm mind, to think critically, and to move forward in a way that aligns with your true self. By fostering inner peace, you create a shield that protects you from the constant barrage of external pressures, giving you the freedom to act from a place of wisdom rather than fear. In a world that constantly demands more of you, the greatest act of strength is to remain rooted in your inner peace. It is your steady foundation, your constant, no matter what storms may arise. It is the eye of the hurricane, unshaken by the turbulence around it. When you choose to nurture that peace, you unlock the power to face whatever challenges lie ahead with grace, resilience, and unwavering clarity. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in human experience. It has the ability to paralyze, to distort our perception, and to hold us back from realizing our full potential. But what if fear is not something to be conquered, avoided, or suppressed? What if it is something to be embraced and transcended through acceptance? This may sound counterintuitive, especially in a world that teaches us to fight fear, to overcome it, and to push through it at all costs. But true freedom lies not in the fight against fear, but in our ability to accept it and move with it rather than resisting it. Fear often arises when we are confronted with the unknown, the future, the unfamiliar, the uncertain. It is a natural response to the unpredictability of life, and yet it can hold us hostage in ways that we do not even realize. When we resist fear, when we fight against it or try to escape it, we give it more power. We make it larger than it needs to be, and in doing so, we allow it to control us. But when we stop fighting and start accepting fear as part of the human experience, it begins to lose its grip on us. The key to transcending fear is not in avoiding it or wishing it away, but in allowing it to be. Fear, in its essence, is just an emotion, a reaction to a perceived threat. It's not inherently dangerous, but the way we react to it can be. When we stop running from fear, we stop feeding it with our resistance. We begin to see it for what it truly is, a temporary feeling, a fleeting state of mind that arises and passes away. In moments of fear, instead of trying to push it down or distract ourselves from it, we can choose to be present with it. We can acknowledge its existence without judgment, without attaching any meaning to it. We don't need to give in to fear, but neither do we need to fight it. When we make peace with fear, it loses its power over us. It becomes just another emotion that comes and goes, like any other. In accepting fear, we recognize that it doesn't define us. It is simply a passing visitor, and like all visitors, it will eventually leave. Think about the times in your life when fear has held you back, when it stopped you from speaking up, from taking risks, from going after what you truly wanted. These moments of hesitation are not failures. They are opportunities for growth. Fear often comes when we are on the verge of something new or unknown. It's a signal that we are stepping outside of our comfort zone, that we are about to expand into new territories. Instead of seeing fear as a barrier, we can view it as a signpost, a reminder that we are pushing beyond our limits, growing into a new version of ourselves. Nelson Mandela, for example, lived much of his life in fear. Fear of oppression, fear of loss, fear of the unknown. Yet, despite these fears, he chose to move forward with courage, to embrace his purpose despite the uncertainty. Mandela didn't allow fear to paralyze him. Instead, he acknowledged it, moved with it, and used it as a fuel to create change. His courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the ability to act in the face of it. When you choose to accept fear, you give yourself permission to move through it. You allow it to be part of experience without allowing it to control you. In doing so, you transcend it. You stop seeing fear as an enemy to be defeated and instead you begin to see it as a companion on your journey, something that is always there but never in control. Through acceptance, fear loses its power over you, and you step into a place of freedom, where you can move forward with ease, grace, and confidence, no matter what the future holds. The past has a way of lingering, haunting us with memories of what we could have done differently, what we should have said, or the paths we didn't take. We often carry the weight of our past failures, mistakes, and regrets like a heavy burden, believing that these experiences somehow determine our future. Yet the reality is that your past does not define you. It is simply a chapter in your life's story, one that doesn't have to limit or confine you. The power to transform your life lies in your ability to move beyond the past and create something new, something that is not bound by what you have already lived through. Your past is not your prison. It is merely a part of the journey, and it does not have to dictate your destiny. We often allow ourselves to become prisoners of our own history, replaying our mistakes and regrets over and over again, allowing them to shape our current reality. It's easy to get stuck in a cycle of self-blame or self-doubt, thinking that because we failed in the past, we are destined to fail again. But this line of thinking traps us in a place of limitation, where we believe that the past has the final say in our future. In truth, every moment is an opportunity for reinvention, for growth, and for creating a new narrative that is no longer defined by past events. Take, for example, the story of someone like Steve Jobs. He was fired from the very company he founded, a moment that could have marked the end of his journey. Instead, he chose to view this as a new beginning. Jobs could have allowed the pain of that failure to define him, to hold him back from moving forward, but instead he chose to rise above it. He used his past experiences, including the mistakes and setbacks, as the fuel for his eventual success. The lessons he learned from his failures helped him to innovate in ways that changed the world. Jobs understood that his past, no matter how painful, was not a reflection of his future potential. He knew that the power to shape his life and career lay in his ability to move forward with the knowledge he had gained, not in being held hostage by past disappointments. This same power to transcend the past lies within each of us. The key is not to erase the past or forget it, but to shift our perspective on it. The mistakes, the failures, the moments we wish we could undo, these are not signs of who we are, but rather they are lessons, stepping stones that lead us to who we are becoming. When we stop seeing the past as a prison, we stop allowing it to control us. Nelson Mandela's life is a perfect example of how the past does not have to imprison the soul. After spending 27 years in prison, Mandela could have emerged bitter, resentful, and broken. His time behind bars could have defined him, but instead, he chose to forgive and to lead with compassion. He understood that his past experiences, no matter how painful, did not determine who he was or what he was capable of. The man who walked out of prison was not the man who entered it. He had transformed, and in doing so, he inspired millions. You too have the power to move beyond the past. Every time you find yourself held back by regret, every time you feel trapped by the mistakes you've made, remind yourself that you are not your past. You are the person you are becoming in this moment, and you have the power to change, your story. The past is simply a collection of memories and experiences. It is not the sum of your worth. When you let go of the notion that your past defines your future, you open up space for something new to emerge, something greater, something more aligned with your true potential. The future is not bound by what you have been, but by what you choose to become. Life is not about avoiding pain or seeking constant comfort. It is in its essence about growth through discomfort and the ability to expand even in the face of adversity. Often we mistakenly believe that the key to happiness and fulfillment is the absence of struggle, that peace and success can be found by avoiding the things that challenge us. However, true strength, resilience, and transformation come not from running away from hardship, but from embracing the discomfort and using it as a catalyst for growth. It is through the hardest moments of our lives that we uncover our deepest strength, the strength that allows us to rise above any situation. Every challenge you face, every obstacle that stands in your way, is an opportunity to evolve. Life in its unpredictability offers us both joy and hardship in equal measure. Yet, it is in the moments of hardship that we often experience the greatest moments of personal transformation. When you are tested, when things are difficult, you are presented with a choice: to retreat into fear or to move forward with courage and clarity, knowing that this challenge too shall pass. It is in choosing to confront rather than avoid discomfort that you begin to understand your own limitless capacity to adapt, to change, and to thrive. The human spirit is incredibly resilient. When faced with adversity, we have the capacity to adapt, to bend, and to find strength we may never have known existed within us. Take the example of someone like Viktor Frankl, who endured the unimaginable horrors of the Holocaust. Despite being stripped of everything, including his freedom and dignity, Frankl found a way to rise above the circumstances. He discovered that while we may not have control over the external events that shape our lives, we always have control over our response to them. In the darkest moments, he found meaning, and through that meaning, he discovered an inner strength that was unshakable. Frankl's story is a testament to the fact that it is not our circumstances that define us, but how we choose to respond to them. In our own lives, we may not face such extreme situations, but we all experience moments of difficulty and discomfort. The key is not to run from those moments, but to lean into them, to allow them to shape us into the person we are becoming. It's easy to feel defeated when things aren't going the way we hope, or when we encounter obstacles that seem insurmountable. But it is through these very moments that we are given the chance to build our resilience, to expand our capacity for patience, and to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. There is a saying that goes, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." While it may seem like an oversimplification, there is a profound truth in it. When you go through hardship and come out on the other side, you are never the same person you were before. Each challenge leaves you with new wisdom, new strength, and a deeper appreciation for the beauty of life. The person you become after facing adversity is more resilient, more aware, and more capable of handling future challenges. Instead of avoiding the struggles that come your way, begin to see them as opportunities for growth. When things get tough, remember that discomfort is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It is often the sign that you're on the verge of something greater, that you're expanding into the next phase of your journey. It is through the difficult moments that we are forged into the strongest version of ourselves. Embrace discomfort, lean into the struggles, and trust that the challenges you face are shaping you into someone capable of achieving things you once thought impossible. In the end, life is not about avoiding obstacles, erasing fears, or escaping discomfort. It is about embracing each moment, whether filled with ease or challenge, and recognizing that true strength lies in our ability to navigate the ups and downs with grace, resilience, and clarity. Our past does not define us, nor do our mistakes or regrets limit what we can achieve in the future. The power to shape our lives rests in the choices we make today. How we respond to fear, to hardship, to success, and to failure. By embracing the fullness of life, both the beauty and the struggles, we realize that nothing can truly shake us. We are not defined by the obstacles in our path, but by our ability to rise above them. We have the power to transform any challenge into an opportunity for growth, to transcend fear and limitations, and to move forward with the confidence that we are the creators of our own story. In the end, nothing can shake you unless you allow it to. You are far stronger, far more capable, and far more resilient than you might realize. Your potential is limitless, and it's up to you to step into it, no matter what the world throws your way.